So the main villains in this episode were, or some of the villains in this episode were, the Cybermen. You never would have guessed, would you? So subtle, the clues were so subtle. So, this episode is, well, brilliant. Just brilliant. First of all, they sort of killed off Danny in the pre-title sequence. No, calm down. I was slightly annoyed at this Biff, but because I thought he would have been permanently killed off, but since he was in there for most of the episode, I sort of forgave the episode. And the reason why I was annoyed, because they killed off a main character without even a proper death scene in the pre-title sequence, and he wasn't even a red shirt. But since this was crucial to the plot, I've made an exception. And Samuel Anderson really only has two people he works with here. Jenna Coleman in the first pre-title sequence with when Clara's trying to tell Danny about the entire series, really, and then Chris Addison in the scenes when he's in the Neversphere, and that is brilliant. I mean, Chris Addison and Samuel Anderson work great with each other, and even though Chris Addison still hasn't been with Peter Capaldi, and I have a funny feeling he won't, he still does a great job. The rest of the cast, Peter Capaldi really has a great time to shine here. First of all, the scene in the TARDIS where he's telling Clara, "You may have betrayed me, but still." It was brilliant, and he played it really well. And Jenna Coleman, likewise, she did the volcano scene really well when she's trying to force the Doctor to help her. Danny, as I said, played by Samuel Anderson, does a great job. Same with Chris Addison. Dr. Chang, played by Andrew Lung. I have no idea how to pronounce that. He was this episode's red shirt. But unlike most red shirts this series, like the astronauts in Kill the Moon, he had a personality. Like, I felt like we got to know him and he got some development, and when his death scene came around with Missy teasing him, basically like she'd mourn him and she's the one that had to live with him dying and she'll be the one to cope with that. He actually had a personality, which was nice. The Cybermen are one of the villains, and for the second time in a row, the Cybermen have been in Army of Ghosts of Doomsday, which was the Series 2 finale. But they weren't the only villains, the Daleks were in there as well, and same thing here. The Master's in this episode as well, so it'd be nice to see an episode or a series finale with just the Cybermen. But anyway, the Cybermen were played by Jeremiah Krang, I have no idea. He does a great job. I mean, he moves like a robotic cyborg person, and the voice is as usual played by done by Nicholas Bridge. They don't say anything, so he's absent from this episode, which is a shame because he is very talented. And Missy, played by Michelle Gomez. She does a great job. I mean, when she pretends to be the welcome droid, she does a great job of that, and she does some weird voices like, "Hello, I am a robot," and then for some reason she goes a bit EastEnders when she calls for Dr. Chang. It's like, "Dr. Chang!" I have no idea why she did that, but it was hilarious. And then it's the reveal that she's the Master, or Missy's the female version of Master. You want to know my reaction to that? Basically the Doctor's reaction. I could not believe that. Genuinely, I thought she would be another Time Lady when she said Time Lady, but still, I never thought Stephen Moffat would actually go through the thing of male Time Lords can regenerate or change genders, so they'd actually do that, especially with the Master, who's been around for quite a while. And she does it, and she plays the Master perfectly. I mean, she reminds me so much of John Sim when she teased before death, like the Master in Sound of Drums sort of teased the President and most of his victims before death, and then they'd kill him. But those performances, you can see the similarities, yet they're both so unique. Like, each Master has his one doctor and would only work with that doctor, because John Sim's doctor would probably never work with Peter Capaldi's doctor, because they're both older, Scottish, and a bit more serious. And the use of the Matrix Matrix data slice is brilliant. Great callback, and of course the Cybermen walking down the stairs of St. Paul's Cathedral was a great callback to the invasion. But they could have handled the reveal of the Cybermen a bit more subtle, because as soon as I saw Dr. Chang put his hand in the dark water, I instantly knew. Put that and the promotional material 2 and 2 together, I knew that those tanks were full of Cybermen. Even though it's pretty obvious, the reveal was really well done, because it was done over about 5 minutes, giving time for the Doctor and Missy to have a scene together, and the reveal of Missy, and the fact they're in London, which was a great idea. And as I said, Missy does a great performance. Stephen Moffat wrote this episode. This is one of his best episodes yet, and it's directed by Rachel Talalay, who did Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare from the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. So this is Doctor Who's first big film director of the new series, and of course they're getting Peter Jackson in the next series. So, and she does a great job. I mean, she's a great director, and to be honest, she's great. Even though she's a film director, she didn't make it too cinematic. Like, she kept it a bit TV, so it looked like it was made for a TV, but she didn't make it so cinematic. You're like, okay, a film director directed this. And the visuals were amazing, as always. The planet the Doctor's on when he took the call, and the volcano was brilliant. But why was the fact that Clara snapped when the Doctor said, "You're only human"? That's a common catchphrase, or is it because the Doctor said it? And even then, he said it in a way like he was trying to use the way we say it, not "you're only human, you're primitive, ha ha ha." He was actually saying it like we say it. I think he didn't actually mean it as a patronising way. And the cliffhanger, brilliant, just brilliant. I mean, the Doctor knows how bad it's going to get. Clara's trapped in with the Cyberman. Danny's might get upgraded, and the people of London are probably going to be killed. And the lack of the next time trailer really helps, because take Aliens of London. That cliffhanger had the Doctor trapped in a room being electrocuted. The next time trailer showed him out of that room completely fine, so it spoiled the cliffhanger. This doesn't, which is good, and it's a nice breath of fresh air having a two-parter, and I really hope next year they return to the 3 two-parters per series, because it is a great format, and I really miss two-parters, because then it can have time for more character development. And this is one of those two-parters where the first part is the setup and the second part's the payoff. And I think it works best that way. And I have to say, the "don't cremate me" bit, that was very Torchwood. Like, it was very mature. And I'm 14 years old, and I found it a bit, okay, this is a bit dark for Doctor Who. But I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. See you next time. So, for two-parters, I get the score from the first part and second part and combine them for a score out of 20. So join me next week for Death in Heaven review, see what score that gets and the two-parter gets. And random pod tomorrow, Doctor Who Series 8 special, and a Death in Heaven summary. See you then.